Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 54 of Let's Play Pillars of Eternity. Looks like there's a guy over here who's, oh, Aldhelm, wow. We've read this. Let's go say hello to Aldhelm. It should automatically just click for us, but, oh no. A man hunches over the strange mechanism, his spine a sharp ridge rising from his arched back. He's barely clothed in filthy rags, and the patches of skin you see are mottled green. A spoiled stench emanates from him. He's so intent on his work that he doesn't notice you until your shadow falls over him. When he turns and sees you, he snarls and scuttles behind the Adra pedestal. Only his bared teeth seem to have escaped decay. His eyes are yellow and bloodshot, but they flicker with intelligence. He averts his gaze and holds a hand in front of his face.
Shouldn't be here. What do you want?
Who and what are you?
15 years at Brackenbury. 7 tours to the ruins beyond Solace Vale. I'm an animancer. Still an animancer.
He closes his eyes and holds the size of his head. His eyes snap open, and his gaze lights on the Adra post with sudden recognition. He starts to turn back to the copper dials. Tell me what happened here.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
He hisses and smashes a fist into the Adra pillar. His hand makes a crunching noise but doesn't bleed.
Forgive me. Forgive me.
He covers his face with his other hand.
Research. We came to do research on the tower. Some commission from gods. It hardly matters now.
Alaf's lips twist in disgust. If I had a copper of sketch for every fool animancer whose first knowledge led to a disaster, well, I know we'd end up in Gilded Vale, that's for sure. Keep talking, Aldheim.
Something happened on our 11th night. Lights in the sky and a static charge in the air. But we were so careful. We were staying in the chambers below. Trindig, my assistant, said he saw a robed figure lurking around the tower. Wore a mask. Carried knives at his sides. A trick of shadows, I told him. The next morning we felt strange. Like we hadn't eaten in weeks. So dazed that we didn't at first notice the blood around our beds. The strange wounds that had appeared overnight. And the machine. This cursed spire. Dormant for 2,000 years. Lifeless through hundreds of our experiments. And we wake that morning to find it spinning on its own. On its own! How can we stop what we couldn't start?
As exciting as the prospect of a living machine may be, I suspect that, given mention of a machine and a masked figure both, there is another explanation.
Years I've been doing this. Years. I know how these things work, but I don't know how this happened. Nowhere to go. That's the problem. Their souls are trapped here like flies in a jar, clinging to rotting meat.
Slow down. What does this machine have to do with souls?
No time to slow down. But I can explain. Hold a magnet over iron splinters and they stick, yes? Rub your hand over weir wool and the hair of your head will follow it. So it is with this machine. It has the power to manipulate souls, but why? For what? And how many others lie buried in the ruins of Erglonfath? No. Focus on this one. It's imprisoned our souls in our bodies. Cut the root between essence and flesh. Left a dwindling soul stuck in a shriveling husk.
What happened to the rest of your team?
By the time I realized what had happened, the district had already been sealed. So we fed when we needed, and locked ourselves in the tower to work. And then there came a time when the hunger struck. And there was hardly anyone left.
You're not like ghouls in the streets.
Not yet. But I will be. My body is dead. My soul, imprisoned in this corpse, only makes it seem otherwise. And as the body decays, so does the mind. Until nothing is left but the hunger. The only way to forestall the process is through a regular infusion of essence. Living flesh is the only ready supply. I'm not proud of any of it. Hunting men and women in the early days of the affliction. Picking off soldiers that came to investigate. But I'd do it again. I'll do it as long as I must to end this disaster. You could help. Help me end this. Help me find sustenance.
So there was a stranger in the tower the night this happened.
I didn't see him. My assistant, he saw him. We laughed. Said he was spooked by the cemetery. Perhaps it was already too late. I don't know what he did. But by morning the machine was on and we were slain. People were already on the streets, complaining of neighbors and family members acting strangely.
So how can I help then?
Not your help I need. It's Harridan, shrew. Squanders her research on frivolities, then refuses to make herself useful. Runes. The runes are the last part of the puzzle. Acantha knows them. She gives them to you, and you can turn the machine off. Release our souls.
Wait, runes? The Ingriffin runes? She can read them? He speaks of this feat so blandly. Let's talk instead to this Harridan, Aldwyn. I'd pick her fort a time. She wasn't here the night the machine came on, staying with her patron somewhere near. Too good to be burdened with our ignorant company. I'll get the words from Acantha.
Yes. Acantha. She was here. In the district. Probably here still. Always prepared. Clever lady, that one. And perhaps you'll bring me something. Something to keep me sharp. Then I show you a secret about the machine. Something to make you strong.
There's a saying in Retire about feeding sharks. Don't do this, Aldwyn. If nothing else, you're liable to lose a hand. I'm pretty sure I know where she is. I won't go down, proceed to the bottom. I'm glad that they gave me the ability to just immediately descend all stairs. We earned 607 copper, which means we've paid for our guys yet again. That's good, good. Right, I'm thinking that this is in Acantha's house, if I remember correctly. Because I'm pretty sure she's the woman who had them in the back. I can't remember. I can't remember like perfectly, but I'm sure she is. I mean, we'll see in a minute anyway, won't we? So. Yep, as I expected.
You return. What have you come seeking this time?
I need the words that operate the Ingriffin machine in the tower.
That fool Aldhelm. He sent you, didn't he? I can hardly believe he's had the cleverness to survive. That simpleton thinks he can understand how to use something without understanding what it is, or why it is.
You feel a hot core of pride smoldering at the center of her soul.
He dabbles with ancient and powerful devices, with all the finesse of a blacksmith. He sends you here to petition me for aid after years of disparaging my research. I'll bet he didn't even tell you the tower's name, did he? That's his problem. Always looking for solutions without caring for meaning.
Tell me the tower's name.
Ter Nuneth. It's called Ter Nuneth. They built the machine atop it to contain souls, hold them in place. But the others I've seen, machines scattered all over the Deerwood, are relays, built to move souls.
Why would they move souls?
Another mystery. Hypothetically, anywhere they wished. The real question, as always, is why? To intermix them the way a player shuffles his deck, the way a farmer rotates his fields? To collect them, like butterflies under glass? To melt them down for raw essence? Unfortunately, I don't know.
You seem to know a lot about Tia Nonef.
I read the runes like a journal. I understand their meaning. People like Aldhelm try to read them like instructions, and in so doing, they miss their true meaning completely.
Why would the Ingriffins wanted to tether souls like this?
Perhaps they didn't. Perhaps that's why they built no other machines like this one. We now see the Engwithans as masters of soul manipulation, but they couldn't have attained their expertise without copious trial and error. Perhaps this was one such experiment.
How do you operate this machine atop Tia Nunef?
Back to these tinkers' concerns. And what would you do with these tethered souls if I told you?
I'd harvest them for essence. No, I'm joking. Actually, I'd probably... You know what? We're going to say this because I want to see what he says.
And so give their existence purpose. But what kind, I wonder?
I could help you, but I won't. The pride lodged in his soul flares up, twisting into the shape of something that writhes and squeals within her. Here, I have specimens aplenty and time enough to observe them all. It's every scientist's dream. My answer is no. What? But what good is observing all this if you're going to hoard it for yourself? Tell her, Aldwyn. An entire language at your fingertips as she hides it away. I'm going to extinguish her pride. The vampire doesn't seem to notice you warp your mind around the squalling, burning mass. However, it sears your very bones. You jump back, crying out in pain. I won't abandon this opportunity. These souls will remain here with me, and I'll accomplish more than any animator in the history of the field. Hoarding knowledge is pointless. The burning thing roars to life. Nothing is more important. We gather and study, and through it transcend the 1,000 insectoid lives that brought it to us. And who will know about it? The pride thing flickers as the flames around it abate. All I've learned, years of studying the Griffin language, no one understands it better than me. That counts as something. Your opportunities here are finite. One day that knowledge will die with you. The pride hisses and sputters, little more than an ember now. You're wrong. But there's no conviction in her voice. I'll build it forever. I'll cling to it. That will give me something. I'm going to extinguish her pride. You reach out for it, but it's still too... Okay, so what will that really be enough for you? The dying cinder clings to life. It will be. It must be. I'm going to extinguish her pride. No, teach me what you know. I'll make sure that it grows and your legacy lives on. We want to finally requench her pride, and all that remains is a blackened diamond hard rock. You cast it away, where it melts into the darkness.
So be it. My studies and efforts shall grow through yours. These are the words you need.
Her cold, dry fingertips rest on your temples, and you feel her reaching into your mind, forming images from the darkness. Runes flash through your head, but they're no longer just pictures. They have meanings, and you understand them. They're commands. Something triggers in your mind, a distant memory unheard of from a past life since buried. You can see a vast array of runes, far more than Gwyff has shown you, and you know their sound and their meanings, and you know how they fit together. The language of Gwyff once more at your command.
Something has awakened in your mind. You understand far more than I ever did. Take this knowledge, then, and do what you will with Ter Nuneth. Now that you understand its purpose, it will serve you in whatever way you wish.
The speaker of dead tongues now, and he's passed 100 frustrated scholars in the matter of a few moments. I don't suppose you could look at a few books for me. You said the avatars around the Deerwood were constructed to move souls. Why would the Ingriffins have wanted to do that? Another mystery. Hypothetically, anywhere they wish. The real question, as always, is why? Oh, we've already asked this question, haven't we? What do I do with the tower now that I know these words?
Turn it off, I expect. That will be easy now that you can read the runes. The vessels would still roam, but striking them down would return their essence to the cycle. But be careful. That machine controls hundreds of souls, and that volume of essence could easily overload it. Improperly channeling the essence would destroy the machine along with the souls. It would be a terrible loss for posterity.
Out of the corner of his eye, Elof gives you a sly look. It seems your ravenous new friend has just given us the key to ending this wretchedness for good. And now that we've seen what this machine is capable of, I do hope you're not squeamish about the loss of a few hundred souls. Explain how the control words work. Harnessing the power of Tiononef is about understanding what it was designed to do. You know the words and their meanings, you can speak them, and the tower shall obey. That's all, thanks. Let's get ourselves back to the tower, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I do look forward to see what happens next. I wonder, am I high enough level to upgrade my sword again? No, I need to be level 8. Oh shit, we've got another ring. Yeah, Sagani, that's definitely for you. And a dagger, that's pretty pointless. Proceed to the top. Right, let's go use the. Right, let's go talk to him first, see what he says. Adam looks much worse than before. His rotten flesh hangs loosely and sores have eaten away patches of his skin at his joints. He looks at you with a strange glimmer in his eyes.
Flesh.
A jagged Adra rises in front of you, encased in stonework and run through with copper veins. The panel is covered with runes, which you can now understand. You recognize the words for end and hold. The dial is currently fixed on hold. You also recognize an inscription that the manner in which you turn the dial means it's throttling the device. We'll choose end. As the command words leave your lips, the dial sinks into the Adra under your hand. Something like a thunderclap sounds overhead. The glow fades from the machine as it falls dormant.
Still and silent. It's finally over. Still and silent.
Did I get any fucking XP for that? You know, ladies and gentlemen, we'll figure that out in the next part. If you guys enjoyed, see you guys next part. See you guys then.